Okay, people, this is how these work on these Rieco Camper Jacks. They basically pretty easy. At the bottom of the jack, take all the spring stuff off the bottom. This is where the foot goes in. The bottom, that's this piece over here. As you can tell, it was leaking pretty bad. This goes up inside the tube. There's a nut on the bottom, clean the dirt and crud out of the way. Take the nut off. Take that away. You don't need that for right now. And then what you do is come over here. Take the nuts. I should say there's two bolts. One here and one on the other side. Take it off. And this is what slid over the top of it. That's where you took the bolt off right there. Take the bolt off of each side, slide the tube off, get it out of your way. You don't need that. Inside you'll find this section here with this piece of solid steel inside of it like so. And on that is this nut with a seal inside of it. It seals at the bottom of the shaft so you can jack it out and in. Inside of this is you see the black seal in there. It's encased in a plastic or a nylon seal retainer. So be careful of that retainer, it's kind of delicate. Pick it out real nicely. If you have a pick set, just use a regular pick. You're going to pick the rubber part of it out real nicely. You got one of these selections of seals. It's the 212. There's a seal that goes inside this cap. To get this off, like I said, it slides over the shaft and tightens down right there. To get this nut broken loose, it's really tough. So what I did is I clamped this down to the bench so it doesn't move on me. I took a pipe wrench and put here as my vise to hold it from turning. I have another pipe wrench that went over the top of that nut. With that, a piece of pipe over that wrench, or the pipe wrench, I broke it loose. It's really tight, really hard, but this is the easiest way. You don't have to use a hammer. I tried, it didn't work. Put the pipe wrench there, hold it down over there. I had a big old pair of welder's vice grips on it. Hold it with your left hand here. Put your pipe wrench like I've got there, going down this way, but this had to be over the top of it. Otherwise, without the leverage, I couldn't do it. It's because it's tight. And then you're going to want to take this shaft. There's going to be a buildup of rust typically on the end of it here. I tried sandpaper, wasn't enough. Steel wool wasn't enough. I finally had to go to my die grinder with a Scotch pad. And this is pretty strong stuff, so don't worry about taking it down too far. And your seal only typically goes to right here, because that's where the first real bad rust spot was. But from here down, just kind of buff it, clean it, get the rust off of it, so you slide this seal retainer off. Clean it really good, put the new seal in it, lubricate it, Vaseline, whatever you want to use. Use petroleum jelly, works great for all kinds of stuff like this. Lube it, slide it back down the shaft, and kind of lubricate the shaft a little bit too. Clean your threads real good, and tighten it back down real super tight. And go ahead and put the stuff back together. Put the cover back over the top of this, and then your extended shaft over there goes on the bottom with a bolt. Don't forget there's a bolt on the end of that. And then put your bolts back in up here. This goes over the outside of this up to here. Bolt on the top and bottom. Fill it with oil. Don't overfill it, but fill it at least halfway or more with oil. Set it upright and go through the extensions a couple times. Work the air, bubbles out of it, such, and you have a fully, well, without rebuilding the top, Typically, it's just not a real problem up here. The biggest problem on these that I've seen is this seal right here. This is where it takes all the grunt work right here. It's this right here. So clean it. Cleanliness is very important. Clean it all up. Make it nice and clean. 4,000 steel wool or 4,000 sandpaper if you want to kind of polish it down. The smoother, the nicer, the better. The better the seals, better, longer it lasts. So that is how you rebuild these things. Don't be intimidated by it because it's really easy. Don't worry about it. Really easy. These are Rieco Camper Jacks, mechanicals. Always these right here. Thanks for watching.